there, and welcome to week 3 of the semester. I think now it's time to really hit the ground running. It's always sort of weird how week 2 we have that Labor Day holiday off at the beginning of the second week, but from now on we've got pretty solid weeks going forward until we hit November and the Veterans Day holiday and Thanksgiving. So let's get right to it. It is week 3. I wanted to take a quick moment, though, to encourage everybody to take a look at your gradebook if you haven't already done so. I'm going to pull up a blank gradebook. Unfortunately, I can't really show you what the gradebook looks like with comments because I'm in student view, and since I don't get graded, I don't have grades in my book. But the gradebook will be updated regularly. At the beginning of week 3 here, you'll have all of your week 1 grades, of course, and then I have your writer's toolbox reflection from last week scored in here, and in the next day or two, because this is Monday, the day after your deadlines for the Thursday-Sunday counterpart activities, I'll get those grades entered too. Right now, though, I mean, you can always look at the gradebook. The first column describes what the assignment is, and then there's more assignments than this, but these are the ones that are visible to you right now. So as weeks 6 through 15 open up, the gradebook will get populated with more topics. The assignment itself will be listed in this first column. The second column has your grade, and it tells you right next to it what type of grade that is. For instance, your week 1 getting to know you forum and your analytical response 1, this whole category is a credit, no credit. So you'll get a credit or a no credit. And then over here in the feedback column on the far right will be my feedback on that. And that's particularly true at the beginning of the semester. I'll offer you feedback about the quality of your analytical responses, just make some personal comments when it's something else about getting to know you. Okay, but you'll always be able to see that there. You also, at this point in time, will have credit for your writer's toolbox reflection and my comments and feedback to you on what you said about yourself as a writer. You should have points for the pre-survey for begin your research. It's just a 1-point thing in this category, and you get credit for doing it. And you have to complete the pre-survey in order to get credit for the actual research assignments and the post-survey. So if you haven't done that already, go back to week 1 and take that pre-survey. The other things in here will be populated further, outlines and proposals for assignments, but it's important for you to keep updating or taking a look at your gradebook regularly. Let me know if I make an error or if I've overlooked an assignment. I'm not without the ability to make mistakes myself. So please do alert me to something if you notice that I've missed something or overlooked some work that you did. Moving on, I just want to look briefly at week 2, which had your first analytical response. It had your first writer's toolbox reflection. I appreciate those of you who shared your information about yourself as a writer in your reflection. It gives me a little bit of insight into working together this semester. And I also want to remind people that for your analytical responses, you need to be thoughtful. If you haven't done so, you need to read the overview for the analytical response forums, which the link is right here in week 2. It's also, of course, at the top here in the major assignments overview. But the requirements are specific. You have to have at least 600 words. You need to integrate the actual information from our textbook as well as your opinion. You should really think of this as a mini essay, and the overview provides you more insight to that as well. So please review that. I will delete posts that don't meet the minimum requirements. So, don't find yourself in the situation of posting something, but, only a couple hundred words instead of the requirement. I've had people post rants on a subject versus an analytical response that's logical and thoughtful and integrates the reading material, which is really the purpose of this. Also, a note that you need to post your initial response, but remember for this assignment, it does have 2 deadlines. One is that initial response, and the second is to go back, read the responses of others, and comment. And that's also described in the analytical response overview. So if you don't do both parts of that, then you won't get credit for the assignment. So it is important that you do that. The week 3, we are, as I said, moving right along through the semester. you have a number of things due this week. One is your first Writer's Toolbox activity. Last week was a reflection, and this week is an activity where you'll actually be working within your groups to practice things that our textbook talks about, related to this week entering the conversation and they say, those chapters that we have. So please participate in that. That means it is a 2-part activity, so it has a requirement for a Tuesday completion and a Thursday completion. And these are shorter types of assignments than the analytical responses, which are in more depth. So there's a little bit less turnaround between the 2 parts. You also need to be submitting me a topic proposal this week. It seems sort of early. I know it's week 3, but we have been reading about pop culture for a couple of weeks, and it continues this week. What I'd like you to do, and it's important that you're continuing to conduct research, because you should be adding weekly to the research collections and continuing to grow those. You have a responsibility to add a minimum number over the course of the first 4 weeks of the semester. So please review that requirement as well to refresh yourself on that. But the idea is that by now, hopefully you've hit upon some type of topic related to pop culture that you're interested in exploring further and learning more about, reaching a conclusion about, that you can write an essay and share it with others. And generally, I anticipate that these will be related to our themes of social media, TV, music, art. But if there's another form of pop culture that you've sort of come across in the context of doing your research, I'm open to other things as well. So please review the topic proposal. You do need to email me your proposal this week. And please note, and I've put it here in the assignment, don't send me attachments by email. Just send the text of your proposal right in the email itself. It makes it much simpler for responding, and I don't have to worry about compatibility of the actual attachments. Okay, so that is due by this Thursday. So if you're having a hard time figuring out a topic, drop me a quick email to have a couple ideas discussed and throw some ideas back and forth or brainstorm so I can give you some direction if you're feeling just a lack of confidence about choosing a topic overall. We're continuing with another analytical response this week. Again, this week on the topic of video games and television. So please get those posted and continue sharing your ideas. I really appreciate and have enjoyed reading what you have to say about these topics. You also are going to be scheduling an essay number 1 conference this week. And when you look here and you need to review the conference's overview, this will open up very shortly. It's not quite 8 o'clock yet, so it's not open. But there will be a list of days here for you during weeks 4 and 5 where you'll need to share a conference document with me on Google Docs. And that is described in the conference's overview. So check that out. And read about that before scheduling your conference so that you understand what that's going to require of you. Well, we've got a fun-packed week, lots of things to do, and it will continue. Now we're going to get into a regular cycle with similar assignments. You're getting most of them introduced to you in the first few weeks. And if at any time you have questions, please let me know. And I look forward to seeing you and learning more about you on Moodle. Bye-bye.